Hello, Mr. Sharp and fellow biomed students. My name is Gavin Lind, and we're going to be describing the chemical concentration formula. I first need to describe to you some very valuable information before we get started. And this formula can be used in a laboratory when dealing with chemicals in different concentrations. So first, volume is equal to liters, which is a liquid, and mass is equal to grams, obviously, as shown in this 10-pound weight. Conversion factors is another important topic that I need to discuss. And we're talking about mass and volume. So 1 gram is equal to 1,000 milligrams because we move the decimal place 3 times, causing it to be 1,000. 1 milligram is equal to 1,000 micrograms because we move the decimal place 3 more times, causing it to be another 1,000. Going from 1 gram to micrograms could be just as simple as multiplying it by 1,000,000. Volume in liters follow the same thing pretty much. Just 1 liter equals 1,000 milliliters, and 1 milliliter equals 1,000 microliters. I have a very simple conversion factor here, going from grams to milligrams to micrograms. Going from a larger unit to a small unit, the number is going to get bigger because we are minimizing the amount of units, so that number is going to get bigger. So if we have 2.5 grams, we have to move the decimal place 3 times to the right to get milligrams, which is 2,500. Going from 2,500 milligrams to micrograms, we're going to move the decimal place 3 times again for a multiplication times of 1,000 to equal 2.5 million micrograms. Or just going from a little shortcut, going from grams to micrograms, just multiply it by 1,000,000. I have another problem here for you. I have 3 million microliters, so how many milliliters would that be? Well, all you have to simply do is move the decimal place 3 times to the left because we are dividing by 1,000, which would be 3,000 milliliters in 3 liters. Now, going on to the important stuff, the formula. The formula is C1 times V1 equals C2 V2. Like I said, this could be used in a laboratory to find different chemicals and their concentration. And your problems are going to be a long word problem that you just need to figure out the three numbers and determine where they go in the equation. So if we have a chemical in this little bucket, or this little measuring, that has a concentration of 72 milligrams per milliliters, and we have another test tube that has a volume of 16 milliliters and a concentration of 5 milligrams per milliliters, we need to figure out the volume of this first tube. So how are we going to do that? We're just going to plug in the numbers. 72 milligrams per milliliter equals the C1. We need to find V, and we already have the C2 and V2 from this test tube number 2, which is 16 milliliters and the 5 milligrams per milliliters. First, what we're going to do is we're going to multiply 16 times 5, which gives us 80, and we're going to divide both sides by 72. And 80 divided by 72 equals 1.1 milliliters. That's how we figure out the volume. A very simple equation, very simple algebraic equation that you've done thousands of times. My last example problem down here is the same thing. Volume of 1,000 milliliters and a concentration of 40 milligrams per milliliter. And test tube number 2 has a volume of 50 milliliters, and we're trying to find the concentration of the number 2. We're going to first multiply 100 by 400, which is 4,000. And the right side has the 50 milliliters, and we're trying to find the C. We're going to divide both sides by 50, and we get a total of 80 milligrams per milliliter. And that is pretty much it. Thank you guys, and good luck on your quiz.